Yeah, that tracks.
Where's Cud from?
You don't have to know a lot.
Cud's from anywhere the well is.
Was it supposed to say Blackberry Cloud?
Coolie.
Oh, Coolie.
Oh, like Coolio.
Yeah.
I wish a Blackberry could.
I wish a Blackberry.
Yeah,
I wish a Blackberry would.
I wish a Blackberry could is like.
So speaking of Cud, what did you do?
I did a lemon.
Down. Oh, I'm eating brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream. Them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture. Cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels, and with me, as always, my co-host, Thaddeus J. McKee.
Slappy Pappy went and the highest.
On the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, the sauce boss of Indianapolis, and the last woke dragon. Give it up for sauce boss Zach, everybody. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what that sound means? It's time for Vegan Bowl 1 with our special guest, referee in-house, Reena. Welcome to the program.
The crowd goes mild.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hey, in your honor, we made a very special vegan brunch going head to head. We'll get into that in a minute. Before we talk about anything, I mean, we could start off with talking about how, you know, you're a comedian that travels the world. You know,
well, I'd say specifically this country,
specifically the U.S. But
Yes.
let's get down to the real important question.
Yeah.
Are you dating anyone? What is?
That was a deep cut. That was not that deep of a cut, actually. That's a pretty recent reference. You know, I'd rather jump out of a window than answer that question again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they asked me, do you guys get asked about your...
Never. No one ever cares.
They always ask. They always ask.
Always.
Yeah.
I always get asked that.
My family doesn't ask. People on, dates on Tinder don't ask. Nobody asks me.
Yeah, I
Who
mean,
I'm
not
dating.
everybody that interviews me asks. Usually only men, usually specifically middle-aged men, and specifically middle-aged men who have a radio show with specifically a female sidekick who's kind of like a real easygoing, agreeable kind of, or, she disagrees, but in a way that's agreeable, like in the way that he likes it. Like, actually, that's not nice, or, like corrects
Sure.
him and stuff, but...
You can't say that.
It would be one thing if you had like a
John.
lot of classic like dating bits or something, and he was trying to walk you into your own bit, but like
He didn't know anything about me. He asked me about my podcast. I don't have a podcast.
Tell us about this little podcast thing you do.
Sorry, I meant kitchen.
What was it like to be a lady? Let's go there.
Do you like pads or tampons? Like,
are you writing these questions down, Thad? These are some
That's
good
the-
Yeah, these are
questions.
some solid questions.
boxers or brief? Thongs or dongs?
What does that mean
I don't
in that
know.
situation?
I don't know.
Because I don't think the opposite of a thong is putting a penis.
I don't know how these radio guys
I don't know.
get down, but
Oh, dongs are a type of underwear.
nope.
We saw you, or I saw you rather, on the local news or on a local news station promoting that's. And also, you have a lot of these very brightly colored smart blazers that you've been wearing on the news.
Was that blazer too sharp?
It wasn't sharp enough, some say.
Okay. All right.
No, I really liked it. What was the inspiration for the blazers?
Goodwill of North America.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just, you know what? I feel like I'm going to be 40 this year, and I feel like I'm entering like my suit era.
Okay.
I'm a suit bitch now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got some suits.
you
I don't always
feel-
wear a suit, but I got some suits.
So I have a thing where whenever I do comedy on stage, even podcasts for the most part, but especially stand up, I like to have a collared shirt on. I feel like it's my comedy. It could be a silly collared shirt like this, but I feel like a collared shirt means I'm here to do stand up comedy.
I like dressing up for shows. Like, I feel like that's a fun part of it for me, the presentation overall. And like, I think that's even when I was newer, I felt like the nicer I dressed, the dirtier stuff I could kind of get away with.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like the more like respectable business person attire I had on, or like classy attire, the more like I could dip into like the dirtiest jokes and kind of like, I don't know, my Sunday's best, but yeah.
Yeah. Business up front, clitoris in back, you know, like that kind
I do have a back clit, and it's kind of,
Let's talk about that.
it's hard to find.
It is hard to find.
I don't call mine a clit. Mine's hard to miss. It's big like a car. I call it a Taurus.
Oh, hey, there we go. And for all those people that have that problem, we're sponsored by them.
What's it? Taurus?
Yes.
Ford?
We gotta do. I'm finding out these sponsorships in real time.
Back up. I didn't say it was a problem.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. Welcome. It's weird welcoming you because I feel like you've been here for a week.
Yeah, I've been here for a couple nights. Yeah.
Yeah, this was our first Harder Brunch where the guest was just here when I woke up this morning.
You know what? As anybody who works with me can tell you, as a Gemini, I like to be on time. Which is a cut at myself because I'm usually I'm not late off almost ever, if you consider. Well, it depends. Different people have different definitions of late. If I'm there before the show starts and nobody in the audience knows that I was white knuckling it and doing my makeup in the car and like busting my ass to get there right on time for the show, then I'm not late. But so I'm never going to delay the show, but I cut it close.
Yeah, you're you're not necessarily there when the show starts, but you're there when you're supposed to start.
No, I mean, I don't go first usually.
Yeah,
so I know
you're the headliner.
I have time. Even if I get there when the show starts, I have time to set up my merch display and stuff like that. But like, I'm also getting ready while I'm driving. So there's some close calls of me like putting my suit on while I'm in the driver's seat, and like stuff that's not ideal probably for road safety.
Yeah, that's pretty dangerous.
But what are you going to do at a red light? Just sit? You can do eyeliner. You
can text message, you can drink.
Well, certain things in makeup, I feel like I don't even really need to look at the mirror to do, not my eyeliner, but like I could put on like my face makeup, like my foundation and stuff. I know where my face is without looking, know.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I don't do a lot of grooming in the car. I don't do a lot of grooming.
You shouldn't groom anybody. We're here to talk about groomers
outside of the car,
except for Aaliyah, but that was a long time ago.
You say Aaliyah?
We're the same age. It's fine.
Yeah. Well,
R.I.P.
That one didn't really fly.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Aaliyah.
Oh man. Yep. Your instincts were right there, Zach.
Go ahead.
Oh no! I think the NFL one just for everything today.
Yeah.
Do we have a song ready? I had a song that I wanted to sing real quick.
Yeah, let's get
is
it.
this for me,
Absolutely.
or
This is a song for you. I wrote this for you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I hope you're not. Don't pass
I'm
out.
glad you're wearing sunglasses.
It's a lot of shoulders at the very beginning.
I love
So if
that.
you're listening to this, Reena, come! Reena, come! Yeah. Reena, come! It's Reena, come! Come on! Oh, it's Reena, come!
That was fine.
Tell me.
Did you recognize your name in there somewhere?
I heard it.
I added your name to the song.
When I worked at Second City, the music director had a song he sang about me that was, her name is Reena and she serves these assholes drinks.
Oh, shit.
One time I cleaned her bong out in her kitchen sink.
Oh, that's even...
If she sees the guy across the room, she gives a wink. And if he likes her back, he sticks it in her pink.
Oh,
I don't like
Give
that.
me the name and number of that guy. We need to collab instantly.
Chad?
that song.
Are you
Chad and
listening?
Thad, Reena songs only.
Yeah, Chad and Thad. Oh, no.
That song escalated quite quickly. At the
Yeah.
end there.
It did.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the coffee this morning? Did you?
Yeah, the coffee was great. Where's the coffee from?
It's funny you should ask, Reena. It's
I
actually
really liked it a lot.
from our sponsor, Tinker. Tinker
was
Coffee.
great. Ooh.
Now-
You know, I'll also say it worked.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, sometimes I like the taste of coffee, but I'm like, I think the coffee's broken. I didn't feel it. I like to
Yeah.
get a little bit of a, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Let
a
you know
Jolt.
it's there.
Remember Jolt Cola?
Yeah.
Disgusting, but I like the zap, you know? I like the zap of it.
I
So-
feel like Jolt Cola was that, like, people don't talk about Jolt Cola enough being a gateway drug.
Oh,
like, that
yeah.
was way more of a gateway drug than pot ever
When did
was.
Jolt Cola come out, guys?
I mean, it's been around.
I don't know when it
90s?
came out. I knew that I used to ride my bike to the like center of town to buy Jolt Cola and like sneak it like it was drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm seeing everything in black and white that you're describing right now. What's happening?
I'm 94, and it was probably around 1994 that I was doing this.
Don't let the pile of blankets fool you. She's a spry young lady.
For the kids at home,
Jolt Cola.
I want you to know I'm covered in blankets. I'm feeling a little bit sensitive from all the food I just crammed down my gullet like a pelican, and I'm a little bit bundled up now.
Jedediah, get us that Jolt Cola. Take this nickel and fetch me a Jolt Cola.
Jolt
I
Cola.
don't
Jolt
even like cola specifically. That was bad.
I think it was twice the I mean, I don't even think it was as strong as an energy drink, but it was twice the caffeine of Coca-Cola, and kids weren't like kids were like getting forbidden to drink it. Like,
Right.
they
Was
weren't-
this after Coke was putting actual Coke in their cola?
Probably.
No, Coke started out with some sort of.
With Coke.
What year did I
Right,
say
but
it
then
came
they
out?
switched to the new formula.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it came out in 95.
Oh, 1985. Okay.
Did I say 85 or not? I can't say.
85,
Okay,
yeah.
85.
Okay,
Yeah.
who's old?
So
Glasses.
let me get my bifocals on.
That's
What's
crazy.
the internet?
All I remember is Surge. That's how young I am.
Oh, so my friend used to. They didn't sell
I'm sorry.
Surge in Indiana. So I had friends that would drive to Ohio for Surge runs and just load up the back of their car. Like in high school, there's nothing else to do. Load
I
up
feel
the
like
back of their car.
It's also a regional thing. We didn't have
Yeah.
surging in the East Coast.
Late 90s Surge was a poppin'.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a poppin'. But not
Yeah.
here.
Jolter, you're adult. That's what they said.
That was
they
you
said.
should work in marketing.
That's
That's
what they
good.
said when I was a kid.
Dongs are dongs, jolts and dolts. Oh man, so it is not Super Bowl Sunday. It is a week after Super Bowl Sunday by the time you're hearing this. So you already know
It
who
was.
won between Philadelphia and Kansas
It
City.
was the Eagles. I'm just going to predict it right now.
It was the Eagles that won last week.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
And
to be determined.
can we do a moment of silence for what happened on the field?
Oh yeah,
I think we can all say Rihanna won.
Yeah.
Well, what she did on the stage was a little bit inappropriate.
Yeah.
You know, for her age, she should probably not have done that.
I
I
thought
liked-
it was weird when she came out and just was like, "These are Justin Timberlake's nipples." Just holding them on
Reverse.
toothpicks. Yeah.
Take this, patriarchy.
Why did she have severed nipples? That one commercial we can all remember was really great. That one,
Oh.
the one, you know, that made you think. It made
Oh
you,
my
it made you
gosh.
think a little bit.
Yeah.
It made me miss my dad.
I cried a
I wasn't
little. I
expecting to
teared
cry.
up. Yeah.
But what you don't know the answer to is who won Vegan Bowl 1.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
are we not going to talk about how Kanye apologized on stage for his racist rants, and he said he's okay, and he's like, hey, you know what? Hitler is pretty bad. Remember that?
He's also Jewish now. Like for
Oh, yeah.
real, he converted. He had
converted
a
to Judaism?
live bris at the Super Bowl,
Oh, yeah, I saw
and
that.
then they replaced one of Timberlake's nipples with,
With
his
his-
dick top.
Dick
Yeah.
top.
I remember that.
Did you forget the phrase, the word foreskin for a
Yeah,
second?
yeah, it's not called dick top. That's
Dick
actually offensive to uncircumcised people around the world.
Once you pop the
Yeah.
dick top, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Right there.
Pringles? You're bringing Pringles into this?
I was I was kind of amazed that the NFL spent so much time on Kanye becoming Jewish. I mean, it was like a
Yeah.
half hour in the
Yeah.
middle. It was the whole Super Bowl.
When I heard Rihanna said, I'm only going to do one song, I knew, oh, he's getting a brisk.
Brisket has a whole new meaning now when you really think about it. But wait, were you guys eating a brisket or did you have a brisket for the oil?
Yeah, they have their own brisket.
So,
You can buy them at Toys R Us, too. It's crazy.
Toys R Us.
Hey. And that's why she makes the big bucks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Pun
That's why
queen.
she lives in a car.
The pun queen of
Yeah.
the USA.
It's a level 5 pun right there.
Level 5 pun.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
So you tend to keep a vegan diet.
I am mostly vegan.
Mostly vegan.
I do eat eggs. I'm also pro-choice, but I do have a bit of. I lean vegan.
Yeah. Okay. So in your honor, we did a vegan brunch, and in the honor of Super Bowl, we picked between the two cities. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I feel like I was at a handicap having Kansas City. Because Zach picked Philadelphia quick. He picked it up real quick.
Okay, but I mean, I feel like I will say this: neither Philadelphia or Kansas City is like where I think of like the cuisine.
Yeah. Or especially the vegan cuisine.
Well, actually, that's my thing is that when I travel, because I don't drink anymore, so instead of spending money on drinking or cigarettes like I used to, or just straight Arby's all day, I used to save money on food, eating Arby's sliders, and then just smoke and drink a lot. But so instead of that, I try all the vegan restaurants that I can find that are kind of on my way.
Okay.
So I do know, I don't think I've actually ever spent much time in Philadelphia. I've never performed there.
But you've eaten there.
I've probably stopped through there and gotten a snack or something, but it wasn't memorable. But Kansas City has some pretty awesome vegan restaurants.
So you had a lot to work from, right? Yeah. There's no reason that you should have dropped any sort of ball.
Well, So how we're gonna do this was a little bit differently. Usually we just kind of
be clear though, we're all farting a little bit. Right?
Okay. I mean, I didn't want to bring it up, but when you were talking about your old diet, I was like, no wonder you think your farts smell good now, because compared to your cigarette Arby's farts,
oh yeah, they were
must have been horrendous.
Toxic chemicals.
You wake up hungover and it's just been eating Arby's and
cigarbies.
It made me cry harder than that Super Bowl commercial. I just Anyway, so nothing tells you what a fart smells like than doing it in a car.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say the two items that were made from the two cities. We're gonna go in 3 rounds.
Yes,
and we're gonna score a touchdown for each round. All right.
Okay. I want to say though, whatever happens here, I already won.
Okay. So you're gonna be the official referee, and this is just gonna be on your opinion.
And she even has her referee attire on.
Yeah, that's great.
It's
a nice stripes, and she's gonna pull Justin Timberlake's nipples out. Maybe I don't know.
I'm a little chilly down here because my body is strained to what it can accomplish. So it's like shutting down my organs, but I'm having a good time. And
I do want to say this before we start. I don't want you to worry about anyone's feelings. I just want your clean
that's funny.
opinion here. Okay. Don't worry about who put you up for the last 2 nights, all right? Like, don't think about whose house you've been staying in.
Wait, is this cheating? What he's doing?
Oh no, I allow it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not like this isn't some kind of judge court.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Anyway,
so let's kick this off officially for our very first and hopefully only Vegan Bowl 1.
Don't come back, bitch.
I was waiting for like some sort of production sound effect.
He has that.
Vegan Bowl 1. Our first ever Vegan Bowl 1.
Oh, hey.
Beans, cashews, oat milk, and grains.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vegan Bowl. We have 2 teams, Philadelphia and Kansas City. I believe Philadelphia is kicking off first in the first trimester. I don't know football terms.
Trimester?
Well, for the first.
Oh my gosh. I quit. I think I'm done with this podcast. It was good. When you call it the first trimester, I have to go.
Oh, when is my food baby due? Okay. Sorry.
So for the first trimester, we had pretzel babies with nacho cheese, which is a fake nacho cheese.
Pretzels and nacho cheese. It was. I have to say, I will give the devil his due. That was the best fake nacho cheese I've ever had in my life.
That was so good. There was just enough of a little kick to it, but not like the same kind of basic kick you would expect from a nacho cheese. It kind of had like a roundabout way of giving you the kick. I liked that. Like, I don't know who does the kicking in football.
It lingered.
Yeah. And I really liked the pretzels. They were great texture, and I wasn't expecting to have that.
Yeah.
That was a surprise. Is that a Philly thing?
Yeah, the pretzels are a Philly thing.
I don't know.
Maybe we should.
I think New York would like to talk to you about that.
Maybe we should.
I will comment. I do like that the pretzels were soft. Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have enjoyed them as much if they were hard. It was nice to have a nice soft. That's the other thing with nacho cheese. You're used to having that crunch, and it was nice to have a nice pillow for the nacho cheese.
Yeah.
And I detected, maybe I'm wrong, a bit of butternut squash for the nacho. Is that true?
No.
Wow.
It was cashews, almond milk. I used the nutritional yeast, smoked paprika, cumin, and then guajillo powder. Okay. And then hot sauce.
Amazing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those were really, really good. And no notes. Except for everything I've said.
Except next time, maybe work a butternut squash in there somewhere.
No, there's sometimes people make butternut squash based vegan cheese sauces, but yeah, I don't know. Never mind. But maybe what I'm tasting in the butternut cheese stuff is all the flavor components he just listed, especially the yeast, nutritional yeast.
Can I ask you a question, Zach? Sure. Did you just come up with that in your brain?
No. So I looked up a couple of recipes, and then I talked to a friend of mine that's a vegan. And I asked him how he would go about making the nacho cheese.
Okay. The nooch.
And then it involved simmering the cashews a long time and then blending them up and then simmering them more and then blending them again.
Oh.
Until they got super soft.
Cashews are so versatile in vegan cooking.
I had no clue.
I went vegan on the road, so it wasn't until COVID that I actually started trying to experiment with making vegan recipes. But I've made cashews into a pie filling, a cheese, lasagna, whatever. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Tofu makes a great cheese sometimes. Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. That was one of my favorite things about the cheese. It was mysterious to me.
And then you had Buffalo, right?
Kansas City, actually. It was Kansas City, known for their barbecue. So he did wings 2 ways. Both of them were smoked. One of them was the classic Kansas City barbecue style. The other one was hot wings.
Were you gonna have the barbecue ones before I said something to you this morning?
Yep, it was all pre-planned. Wings 2 way. I told you to put that on the menu, right? Wings 2 ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just completely ignored it.
You forgot.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't say which sauce will be on the wings on the menu. It says smoked cauliflower wings, which we were served.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, at first when I smelled the smoker stuff happening, I was like, "Ooh, I don't know. I don't always love smoked stuff, the flavor of it."
Yeah.
But I gotta say, those were some of the best cauliflower wings I've ever had, as far as the texture.
Ever had?
Yeah, because a lot of times they kind of get. Maybe it's a matter of how long it's been made versus when I've been served them, how long they've been sitting in the sauce, but they still had a good amount of crisp to them, and the integrity of the cauliflower shape was maintained, and that was a nice treat to cut open, and it's still a very a thriving piece of fried cauliflower. How
did you feel about the zucchini sticks served with it?
I don't know. They were okay. I think I would have preferred celery or cucumber over zucchini.
Was it just pieces of zucchini, just raw zucchini?
It sure was.
Next to it?
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
That's what you went with instead of celery because celery is not a vegetable?
No, I didn't have celery.
Well, I'm not trying to take sides, but what you did to the zucchini, you took the skin off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Peeled it back.
Yeah.
I think the skin is what makes zucchini hard to eat raw or not taste as good, but there's still something
soft.
about it that's I like the texture of it actually, but there's something about the flavor that's it's okay, but
You
it's
miss celery.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely like having vegetables with my wings. I would have been bummed if there weren't vegetables.
Yeah.
And also just some roughage for the rest of the experience,
A little crunch, a little flavor.
So, and the sauces were wonderful all around. You had the barbecue sauce was sweeter than I thought it would be, and I really liked that. And then the buffalo sauce wasn't as spicy, but still had a nice kick to it. And they were both really good. And this was I think, for me, the most difficult round to pick a winner in. And I know that this isn't part of the recipe.
Oh.
But I'm going to have to go with the pretzel and nacho cheese for the first round.
First round goes to Philadelphia.
Well, the reason is because of the, how when you do drugs, a lot of it's about the set and the setting. And when we were served the nacho cheese pretzels, aside from being absolutely delicious, both dishes executed wonderfully. we were like surprised by them when we were out watching TV in the other room, and all of a sudden we have these pretzels with nacho cheese, and it was just like it was a really nice introduction to the experience. Maybe I'd feel differently if we got the wings in the living room versus, I don't know.
It was kind of like the heads or tails flip. They received the ball first, and so I mean, we were at our most hungriest when that came.
Well, that's the weird thing. I asked Dyke if he wanted to go first, and he said if they can't sit at the table, fuck them. And I was like, well, I don't mind.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah. And I thought it was really rude, but I wasn't going to say anything till
You tell me when they're ready.
it became appropriate.
So he deferred and gave it to you. Oh,
Because at first I was going to be like, wow, either of us could have won that. That was just chance. But no, he made a very concerted decision.
Well, we needed the fork and knife to really enjoy the buffalo wings.
Yeah, that's what they say. You can't have a good wing without cutlery.
he made a stance.
Yeah.
That's what they say in Buffalo, at least.
But yeah, having a nice, I think that's a real game day tradition too, regardless of what city you're from. I think we can all get together on what's the dips at, and like having a nice dip for your pretzel is nice. There was also, I will say, somebody else noted, I didn't miss it, but there was no dip for the wings.
Yeah.
Like no ranch or blue cheese vegan style, which I don't need. But I don't know. I guess.
Who was the person?
I'm not going to sell Gwen out like that.
I'm not going to say it was Gwen either, but there was some words that rhymed with what you just said.
Gwen there, done that.
She came in complaining today. I feel like she came in hot.
No, I wouldn't. I honestly wouldn't have wanted any other sauce than what you had with them. I think they were perfect, so that's not affecting my choice. But yeah, it was just a great for a Super Bowl sitting around the TV moment. It has to be the pretzel and nacho cheese for the first round.
All right. Second trimester.
Second trimester, I did the Philly cheesesteak, hold the cheesesteak. Instead of the meat, I did a blend of mushrooms. There were portobellos, oysters, and shiitakes. And then I had a vegan cheese that I melted it all kind of together with.
Same cheese? Cheese?
It was not the same cheese. I purchased that cheese. I thought about using it, but I just didn't want to double up. I wanted
Sure.
And I had already bought the other one, and so I.
No, you got to switch up the flavor profile.
Might as well. And then I put some sweet potato fries with it.
That was a good call. Sweet potato fry. I think the sweet potato fries really brought the whole thing together.
The presentation was fantastic. When you came in with that giant board of a huge hog of a sandwich, and
this is getting oddly sensual.
I don't think vegans are supposed to describe food that way.
That's the closest thing I've got to one. Like this giant board with a sandwich and fries on either side, flayed about. And the sweet potato fries were super yummy. Dipped in some of that cheese sauce brought back was super good. And the ketchup, I loved that. And the mushrooms were kind of like spilling out the sides of the sandwich. So they were mixed into the fries. And it seemed like a real smorgasbord on a board, literally. And then the sandwich was pretty good too. Spoiler alert. I might have to not give you this one. Yeah, we didn't even announce the second option yet, but
oh shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The sandwich. This is my fault for being vegan, but we haven't figured out cheese all the way. You figured out your cheese that you made.
Well, this is the sauce boss.
Yeah. No doubt.
Well, it was a cheese sauce that we got right.
Oh, you're saying the
cheese itself,
the store-bought cheese. It never melts right.
Yeah, I mean, it melted fine. It melted, but it's not the same.
It wasn't the ooey gooey kind of like there's strings of cheese coming from. I'm with you.
And it's also not doing its part at holding the whole thing together the way melted cheese will do. So like the mushrooms kind of went their own ways, and they were delicious whenever they got in my mouth. But it didn't feel like eating a cheesesteak. Not that I really have a lot of experience with those.
I will say this too. I feel like something that gets missed a lot of times in vegan, like it's the decadence of food. I feel like vegans food is a lot of times small portions, very neat. So like I like a big old sloppy presentation.
Yeah, I feel like a cheesesteak especially is not something you can eat without making a mess. Like you've got to have it like kind of like, I feel like that's the kind of food you want to eat like in the paper a little bit, like wrapped up so that you're kind of like sucking it out of the paper. Yeah.
It's a cheesesteak's the kind of food that you eat and then you get into a fight, Like I feel like that's
for sure
the Philadelphia way.
Yeah, your hands are covered in grease, and that's
You wipe them off on someone else's face.
slippery punching, and
Hey, I have a lot of Philadelphia brothers and friends.
The bread
I
was-
won't let you talk about them like that.
bread was super good. All of it was good. I think I was disappointed in myself for being vegan during that dish because the cheese was not there to help, hold it all together. And neither am I for this podcast.
Then the Kansas City was the. So I looked this up. This was a new thing that I learned this week that they are known for their. I don't even know if it's pronounced Bi-Rocks or B-Rocks. It's B-I-E Rocks is how it's spelled.
Yeah.
And basically it's meat, cabbage. It's usually ground beef and cabbage and cheese cooked inside of a roll, basically.
Yeah.
And this was the vegan version, obviously, of that with the grill Morningstar grillers crumbles. When I used to be a vegetarian, grillers was like my favorite vegetarian protein.
Yeah.
So I got the crumbles there, and then we went with some sauerkraut, and then I also made a vegan cheese.
So that was a homemade vegan cheese.
That was a homemade
inside.
vegan cheese inside of that.
You know what's funny is that you told us there was cheese in it at the beginning, but I remember getting through it halfway and thinking wow, you don't this is the cheese was kind of taking me out of the first one, the cheese steak,
Yeah.
But this one I was this is really good. You don't need cheese to do vegan food, but there was cheese in it. But
Mine was definitely on the nuttier side.
Yeah.
And more kind of it wasn't super cheesy.
I like it though. I mean, I like that nuttier. I like the nut cheese. I like a nice.
It was a nut cheese.
Nut cheese sounds like the most disgusting thing in the world. It sounds like something you wipe off. Anyway,
It sounds like something that's involved with bullying.
What?
I don't know.
It's not. Anyway, I'm not going to get grosser, but
What type of bullying happened at your high school?
I don't know. They hit you with a jock strap and wipe nut cheese on you or something.
nut cheese sounds like earwax, but
Yeah.
for your
I wish I didn't
taint.
ask.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I tried to move past it.
I wish I didn't ask.
but that was so good, and it reminded me, I think, of some of the Eastern European dishes that I kind of grew up eating more of. God, I can't think of the name of it. It's not kreplach. That's a Jewish or a Yiddish. I don't know if it's Jewish. Is not a kind of food really, but definitely some kind of dumpling we ate growing up that it reminded me of the meat filling. Only I never liked it. The meat one always tasted a little bit mixed. It was mixed with sawdust or something is how I don't know. But this was really good, not dry at all those ones I'm thinking of. So it tasted like a juicy kreplach.
There you go.
I used to have that
whatever.
bedazzled on my shorts, actually.
I think I'm thinking wrong. Kreplach is a soup dumpling. I don't know. Anyway, it was delicious. The pastry was great. It wasn't greasy or anything, which I feel like it could have been,
Yeah.
And I didn't know I liked sauerkraut. And I think maybe the sauerkraut gave it a little bit of a sweetness to it too, which, the first round was really hard to decide. But I have to say, once I had the dumpling, I was this is it. This is the one for me.
Oh, how?
Dumpling
Yeah.
one? In an upset on the second one. Oh, my goodness.
But that was a surprising choice because the presentation, especially for the cheesesteak, was as soon as it came in, we were all whoa, it was really,
But then as it went on, it just became really disappointing, is what you're saying.
I don't know. I
Started
would say that
off visually pleasing.
if I was going to a restaurant and they served those, I
Yeah.
would go back to that restaurant. If that was their thing, for sure. It was good, you
Yeah.
know, but if they had the two as an option, I would never order that. I'd only always order the dumpling. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. But the fries, I would have the fries probably with the dumpling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, I know it's not a huge thing to be I loved your French fries, but that's also my favorite food group.
All right, we're neck and neck here.
That was a head-to-head battle.
Going into the.
Stay tuned. Wait, we got a commercial before we
Do it, commercial?
win, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Stay tuned. This game has been sponsored by Upland Brewery, and they also make coffee mugs too. It's good beer. We like it. Upland Brewery. Thumbs Upland.
They also make coffee mugs.
They also make I would say that's a tumbler, I would say,
Guys, if you hate beer and you hate good food, don't worry. They also make coffee mugs.
You can get a mug. You can put anything you want in it. You can even take the cap off and keep pens in there.
You guys are making really tiny sandcastles when you're on vacation. Get an Upland coffee mug.
Yeah. Hey, if you're really against beer and you used to have a problem.
You know what? Actually, I want to go back for a second about the cheesesteak because I want to make it clear also that like I never loved cheesesteaks regular. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it might, I don't know if like that was a perfect cheesesteak, like, you know, like substitute.
Yeah.
And I just am not like a
Well,
cheesesteak person.
the thing is,
You could always reconsider.
You
your
gotta-
vote if you wanted.
You got
Like,
to.
there's
You
no hard and
have to
fast
play to the
rules.
judge. It's not about what was a perfect cheesesteak or not.
Yeah.
It's about what did the judge like.
Well, I mean, it just became hard. I mean, the dumpling was so delicious that I was like, well, it's not even a contest anymore. I ate the entire thing.
When you said that spoiler in the middle, I thought you were going the other way, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh man,
No.
Too. I thought it was great.
She's like, I don't even want to talk about the second.
Yeah.
This is what it was yet. I already lost.
That's what I thought. I was like, this is gonna be a sweet.
Oh, that's cool. No, that dumpling, it was like not much to look at when it came out. It's just like a little dumpling on a tiny plate. But man, it was so good.
So if you saw it pictured on a menu, you wouldn't order it. But
Right,
if you happen
right.
to be drunk and get it, you definitely get it every time after.
visually, I would
Yeah.
order the cheesesteak
Yeah.
platter every single time
Yeah.
over the dumpling.
It
But
was it was
Yeah.
reversed, but instead of being a complete disappointment like Zach's dish was,
I didn't say
you
that.
had a pleasant surprise when you
Right.
ate mine.
But that's the thing about your food sometimes. It does not look good sometimes. And then you put it in your mouth, you're like, hey, I actually like this.
Turns
Whoa!
out
I do
Yeah.
like this.
It's edible.
I am
Wow.
happy to be here.
Yeah, like the flavor's always on point.
All right. Hey, you know what? Let's take an actual commercial break, and then we'll come back
It's kind of like those girls like that have night. Never mind.
with the conclusion of Vegan Bowl 1.
Like that wasn't in the podcast. That was just like
Gen Z can't stop raving about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Patreon.com/Harder Brunch slaps.
No cap, the Harder Brunch podcast is bussin' on God.
Move over, Boomer. Gen Z's here to talk to you about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Harder Brunch podcast on Patreon, $3 a month, low key a steal.
The Harder Brunch podcast deadass has me bricked up every day.
Listen to these all totally real testimonials.
No, like I'm getting paid to do this. Don't worry. Yeah. No, you think I do this for free? Pff, no.
The Harder Brunch podcast deadass slaps. Younger. The Harder Brunch podcast deadass slaps.
Just go to patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
The Patreon After Brunch podcast hits different. That shit makes you feel shit.
The Harder Brunch podcast fucks.
Guys, I just want to say, even though I'm coughing and you know, it looks like I might not be having a good time, that's exactly the opposite. This has been a fun podcast. I got to sing a song to Reena on key. Probably
was
the best vocals you've heard, right?
really good. It was really good. Yeah.
Thaddeus J off key.
That was really good.
Double, all right.
Double rainbow. Oh my God. All right. So we ready for the final thrilling conclusion to Vegan Bowl 1. Now, I guess we're all tied up 7-7. So we're going to go for the extra basket here.
I'm
the
not
extra.
ready. An extra basket.
Yeah, it's
Called a slap shot.
It's called a home run. I know what it's called. Thank you very much. I believe the 2-point conversion. Is that what it is?
Yeah, for my 2-point conversion slap shot, I did a funnel cake with, it says a blackberry cud on the menu.
That was the best could I've ever had.
Apparently it,
Coulda, shoulda, did it.
I'm keeping it.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Because apparently funnel cakes are from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that tracks.
Where's could from?
You don't have to know a lot.
Coulds from anywhere the well is.
Was it supposed to say blackberry cloud?
Coolie.
Oh, coolie.
Oh, like Coolio.
Yeah.
I wish a blackberry could.
I wish a blackberry.
Yeah,
I wish a blackberry would.
I wish a blackberry could is like.
So speaking of cud, what did you do?
I did a lemon icebox pie. It was very traditionally made in the. Oh man, that
Because
was
the part that blew my mind was after you pulled it out of the freezer and you put it back in the oven. I've never seen anybody do that with an icebox pie.
It's a new thing.
That was a very new thing to me.
I didn't know that happened behind
So that's
the
a
scenes.
Kansas City thing.
Yeah.
It must have been.
That must be a Kansas City icebox pie.
They don't make much sense.
That
up
makes
there.
sense.
They don't know if they're in Missouri, Kansas. They're just like, whatever.
They don't
a
know
little
what
bit
an
of this.
icebox
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it's hot, it's cold.
Look, they do
Yes.
crazy stuff over in Missouri. That was it's a it's a regional thing, Zach. It's a regional thing of heating and cooling the pie very quickly. It has to be done very rapidly. Yeah, I made a lemon icebox pie. I gotta say, I don't do a lot of vegan baking. So
I remember, I will say, behind the scenes, little peek, that you were a little bit worried about how this one was going to come out. You were worried about making this goal, you know?
There was some last minute tweaks and adjustments to make the whipped topping. My first one was a complete disaster. So then I used aquafaba and powdered sugar and that ended up whipping up. And then I just added a little bit of lemon, simple syrup, and a little lemon zest on top.
Good for you for the
give it flavor.
aquafaba thing, because I've never actually tried that. I've only ever made vegan whipped cream with like coconut, condensed milk, or something. I forget, but cream of coconut.
Yeah.
What the heck is
Cream.
faba?
It's like, don't tell them.
It sounds like someone saying father with a list. Faba.
You are not the faba.
You are not the faba. That's funny.
It's the water that the chickpeas are in when you get them out of the can. It's kind of like the bean water.
Is it like a common Jewish thing?
It was called aquafaba on the roof. Is that what
Abba Father
Abba, yeah.
was something that Jesus said.
Yeah, well, Abba means father in Hebrew.
Yes,
So
I knew
Abba,
this.
aqua Abba, Faba.
It sounds like someone had a... Okay.
Also, I feel like you could get away with saying, is that just like a Jewish thing about anything you just don't recognize? Like,
that a Jew
that
thing?
Just like a Jewish thing?
That Jew
Like a
food?
Jew thing? Honestly, being vegan, I think it comes from a lot of being raised kosher and like the fact that I grew up not eating so many different things that like, even though I'm not religiously restricted from that anymore, like I could eat shellfish or bacon or meat and dairy together, but like, and meat and dairy together is the one that like, sure, yeah, I get a good time, right? But like shellfish was always a texture thing, and I never have liked bacon just from and the idea of ham sounds disgusting to me, like just from not growing up eating
Well,
it.
it's propaganda, right?
Well, they really, because I have had Muslim friends who would break every other rule. Like they'd be like sleeping with white women. They'd be like doing drugs and drinking. But like the idea of pork is still like, I ain't eating that nasty motherfucker. That's still gross.
I feel like they're not supposed to sleep with anybody.
Oh,
Like,
isn't that-
I don't think it's a white woman thing.
Oh, well.
I think it's like I don't think when they made the rules, there was like a bunch of white ladies running around, you know.
You guys get loose, but
I was-
not with white women.
I was thinking of black Muslims. I'm sorry, black Muslims. I think that's an extra rule.
No, I
don't
just
sleep
don't
with the devil women.
Yeah, I never have liked bacon. The taste of it has never appealed to me from not having a taste for it, I guess. So anyway, trying to like say I eat meat, but being just like really fucking picky
Yeah.
was not a great thing. So being vegan is a lot simpler, where it's just like, yeah, I'm vegan, but then I'm like, I don't like cilantro, you know, like things like that, or I don't like olives, like certain things that are really strong. I feel picky about, but usually I'm like vegan. It's cool.
Yeah, that's not that great. Cilantro is very divisive.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Olives, I think, are. Yeah.
I went to a taco place and the lady was like, "Oh, are you one of those soap people for cilantro?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "Well, yeah, as I can't imagine any other reason somebody wouldn't want it." It's like, but that's the reason. Like, if somebody says no cilantro, anyway,
It's
whatever.
this is complete derailment, but
Yeah.
the very first time I remember having cilantro, I was like, I felt like it was gross. Like
Yeah.
I was like, this, like people like this. Like they put cilantro, they added it to chips.
Yeah,
And I was like, this is gross. And then every other time I had it after that, I liked it.
yeah. It's I don't know. It's weird. Some people, it's an aversion, not a distaste.
There was a lot of cilantro in the funnel cake.
Yeah,
I don't know if you got the.
So the dessert. First of all, funnel cake being like a Pennsylvania like treat feels like the most on point thing of all. Like, I don't know why. Like, yeah, it feels like absolutely they're just like whipping loose fried dough around in Pennsylvania. I think
they're fist fighting after the grease fist fight. They eat funnel cake.
Yeah, and if you get injured in one of the fist fights, they just put a little powdered sugar on it. So I think that's
where the brotherly love comes in.
Or there's like a fortune teller that reads your future based on how the funnel cake falls. It was very good, and the blackberry sauce was complex and also lingered. It was that a lingonberry? Was it a lingerberry? Kind of. Just kidding.
It was a blackberry good.
It was a blackberry good. It was so good though, and yeah, it was like not overly sweet, which I also appreciated, but super satisfying, warm, and nice. The icebox pie.
That's how I describe my sexual encounters.
That's on the board.
It was brief.
No, they usually say, I wish a blackberry could. That's what they call them.
It was tough. It was a little all over the place.
I wish you could.
Messy, and it was brief.
Really wish you could.
Really packed a punch. And, yeah, okay, the icebox just visually was stunning. The whip had a very interesting texture to it. The aquafaba made it seem like it didn't have the same texture as like a cream-based whipped cream, but it was almost something like special, like a foam. It almost seemed like an elevated version of a whipped something because of that. Like
it was a cloud.
It was a cloud on the icebox pie. Could and then that was the funnel cake was very pleasing, but the icebox pie, what it had was a surprise element texturally. Like every layer of it was not quite what I would expect from how same as the dumpling. It's like different a little bit than what meets the eye. Like the whip topping on top was a little bit fluffier than I'd imagined it was going to be. The crust was a little bit bigger crumbs than I imagined, but I like the nuts, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Is there almonds?
Now you're describing all my sexual encounters. Sounds familiar.
Way more nuts than I was counting on coming in here.
Way fluffier than I thought it was going to
No, I liked being able to decipher the almonds in the crust while I was eating it. Like, not like a basic crust. It's like there's stuff going, the personality in the crust. And then I really was stunned. I'm going to say stunned. I don't know what went into the freezer and then into the oven, but the texture of the lemon cream filling, it didn't taste like butter, but it felt like eating a nice chilled. It felt like eating a nice chilled. Like the texture felt like you have to understand, I don't eat a lot of like dairy stuff anymore.
This doesn't remind me about butter.
I don't normally eat sticks of butter anymore, but
one of my friends used to, and we talked about it forever at school. But yeah, like gnawing on a butter stick, gross. But yeah, it had a really creamy thing going on to it, and like a sturdiness to it that I liked.
Gwen referred to it as a lemon fudge.
Yeah, that's because it was chill. You know, it was like cool.
It was chill, all right.
There was give to it. It wasn't like hard to get through. It was very like it couldn't hold up to your teeth. Okay, like it couldn't win a fight against your mouth. Like, don't get me wrong. But yeah, so it was just texturally very surprising and pleasant to enjoy. Gotta say, this is probably maybe the hardest round for me, even if I've said that already. I forget the past. I ended up dipping some of I wish a blackberry could be on this lemon icebox pie, and the blackberry sauce on the lemon box ice pie were very good combo. So I feel like maybe what if the teams worked together to share the Super Bowl?
Oh, that's how Super Bowls do work usually.
That would be a really Super Bowl.
We can't do a cop out after all that. We got to pick a definitive.
We gotta pick one now.
Winner between the two.
I mean, I would be okay with sharing the Super Bowl with you. I don't know why it all has to be one or
Super Bowls work, y'all.
I mean, it could.
I'm having
this is our own Super Bowl.
I think you're saying that because you know I'm going to pick the lemon thing.
Hit that button!
What? Was that?
Just got dethroned.
Is that it?
It's going to be the lemon icebox.
Final answer. It's an upset here. Oh my God.
Wow.
All the vegan maniacs are going wild in the stands.
Wow,
Nobody
wow,
saw
wow.
this coming. That pie was an absolute mess from start to finish.
But we love a victory in the
Wow.
face of adversity story, do we not? We love to root for the
Wow.
underdog.
Slappy Pappy Wham Wham. I did not see that coming. Zach never gets beat on the desserts. And today is an upset in our hearts, in heaven, in hell, everywhere.
I will gotta say this is part of my victory speech. You chose wrong on the desserts. His dessert was way better, but I will take a win as a win.
I
and I love
personally-
beating Zach
Wait,
anytime I can.
You don't diss her after she gave you the trophy?
I personally really did enjoy. I love lemon. I love the tartness of it, and it wasn't too lemony, so it was still overly sweet but not too sweet. So I mean, the flavors all around were great on both desserts. No argument there. There's just different flavors, and again, I shared. I would love to give it to you both together. I would love for you guys to share it, but
Well, big round of applause for Reena Calm for judging Vegan Bowl 1.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know we did put you in a hot seat too. We made you judge between two of us, and then we're staring at you, waiting to see which one you liked best.
I think the only hot seat in here is Thad's chair.
That's a fart joke.
It was Cody. And I think we all know that.
Now we really believe
So
it.
I refuse to laugh at something that was not planned out.
Oh my gosh! Wow, I don't even know where to go after that.
Well, can we? I have a place. I have places to go.
Okay.
Can I get a hand time, real quick?
A hand time.
Like how much time we have? We practiced this before.
All right.
20 minutes.
That was
Yeah.
15.
Sure.
That was really hard to read. Of the sidelines, if this was like, if you're my sideline coach, we'd be doing all the wrong plays.
Yep.
Anyways, I gotta spend a lot of time with Reena. I feel like you did the Super Bowl of Harder Brunch.
Oh, this has been such a great
Yeah,
weekend.
this has been so much fun. A lot of conversation. A lot of reminiscing about comedy and how it goes. Even
Well,
some personal
you did
stuff.
a guest spot on our show.
I
too?
did a guest spot on a show, which was great.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we've talked about not just comedy. We've talked about life,
Life,
religion.
religion.
We've talked about '90s movies and '90s music.
Yes.
Yeah, all kinds of things. Theology.
Something that really stuck out is The Girl Interrupted. Now, everybody knows that The Girl Interrupted is one of my favorite movies.
It's just Girl Interrupted.
Also, no one knows that. Like, I've lived with you for 3 years, and I found that out just now.
I thought it was that one obscure movie that you think's everybody that knows.
the classic,
Yeah.
the one I love.
Yeah.
Well, that's everybody's favorite movie.
By the way, when you first told me that this is one of your favorite movies, immediately I quoted a couple of lines from a movie. You're like, what?
Well, it's been a long time. It's that special of a movie. You know those movies that you don't want to watch too much.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies.
It was my favorite movie that I watched once 20 years ago.
Angelina Jolie.
she won the Oscar.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah, I always said Winona.
Isn't that Winona?
I believe it's
Like
not
Winona
actually.
Lake?
There's actually no Y. It's just she spells it with an I. You can Google it. It's Winona.
Winona?
Nope,
Can I get a Winona?
you cannot.
All right. Well, this was supposed to make. All right. I had a good. Anyways,
Girl, you got interrupted.
So your favorite. Got him.
all right. You guys know I'm sick. You guys know I'm sick. All
yeah,
right.
butt sick. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. All of you are bastards.
Butt sick.
All right.
All right.
Can we use butt sick more often?
Yeah.
I feel like that happens to the best of us.
I think that's what Casey called it.
Anyways, you went to the school where The Girl Interrupted was shot. Now take it from there. Bye.
I will say again, it's just Girl Interrupted.
Well, I don't know about that.
Have you seen the movie?
I do know about that.
So
I
what?
have.
So
The girl-
where was this The Girl Interrupted at?
Massachusetts.
The Girl Interrupted
Yes.
was. It's not it's like not
The girl.
Winona Ryder and The Girl Interrupted.
The Girl Interrupted.
It was in Arlington. Well, no, sorry. The Arlington
National Cemetery.
The Arlington School is where I went to high school, which is actually in the town next to Arlington, which is Belmont, Massachusetts. So local reference, not for anybody around here, but Belmont, Massachusetts, McLean Hospital is where the one and only Girl Interrupted was based, and then they actually filmed some of it the year I was in like senior year of high school there. So like Jared Leto was on the set, or like on the set on the campus of my It's also a mental hospital, so like I was an outpatient technically. I rode like a private bus, short bus to Belmont every day from my hometown to get to this hospital. But then I left every day. I didn't stay there overnight. That was a different hospital. And this was like, oh yeah, you've been through it. We trust you to go home. But anyway, Jared Leto was on campus filming, and we would always look at him. It was a mental hospital because we had a smoking section. Like most kids, I feel like aren't encouraged or allowed to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
But at that school, you're allowed to smoke.
They were like, yeah, you can smoke over there. Because people have been in hospitals and stuff.
Except the girl that had all the burns, she wasn't allowed to.
No, she was. They gave her more smoke breaks, I think. She was needed it. Yeah. I didn't smoke in high school, but there was like a little corner that we were all designated to
and
go
this
smoke
is like
cigarettes
90s Jared, like, right?
Yeah.
Like this is like Fight Club Jared.
Oh yeah, he was in Fight Club. Yeah.
He was the Destroy Something Beautiful.
This was just after My So-Called Life, Jared Leto. Before
Jordan Catalano, Jared. Okay.
This is before 30 Seconds to Mars and him being like a cult leader who was predatory, Jared Leto.
Wait, I didn't know any of this.
Oh yeah, Jared Leto, psycho. Not good dude. Problems. The Jared Leto is a problem. And
Jared Leto.
Yeah. No Joker.
It's not the Jared Leto. It's just Jared Leto. There's one.
You sound like a fool when you say it wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Susanna Kaysen is the person who wrote that book, who Winona Ryder's character is based on, and it's like an autobiography, and they turned it into a film, and it's kind of funny that Winona Ryder didn't get really any acclaim for the role, but Angelina Jolie
got so much.
Won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for playing somebody with borderline personality disorder. Yeah.
Well, she did a great job in that.
She did.
Winona, she was a little bit boring in it.
It's Winona.
It's okay.
She didn't win anything, though. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like
she's probably whining about that?
Do you feel like Winona made the funnel cake and then somebody else won with the lemon icebox, not a cake?
I don't understand the reference you're making.
Sometimes.
Wait, how is Dyke's lemon icebox pie less of a cake than a funnel cake?
Well, I mean by name.
Yeah, but by texture and presentation, I would say that the pie is much closer to a cake than a funnel.
No, I would agree with you. It is more of a cake.
Okay. Well, what's in a name?
Yeah. And mine was a pie, so it was definitely not a cake at all.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been a cakewalk to decide.
Mine was the Angelina Jolie of desserts, though. Half in the oven, half in the freezer.
Had a vial of blood around its neck from Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Always getting interrupted.
Yeah.
Girl Interrupted, classic film. Haven't seen it in a long time. I'm not sure have actually seen it before.
I've seen movies.
He has an entire podcast. The premise is that he's never seen these movies.
Yeah.
Well, and you're allowed to read the Spark Notes.
But that's still not seeing a movie.
Yeah,
of course,
I've
you're allowed to
seen
read Spark Notes.
I've seen it. It was a movie. Like, this girl keeps getting interrupted. And she's like, oh, this stuff sucks.
This is how I wrote book reports when I was in junior
She's like,
high.
everybody sucks. And then they're like, well, you want to go to the hospital for girls that get interrupted? Because there wasn't, you're right. Now that I look back, it wasn't the girl. There's multiple girls getting interrupted.
You don't want to end up in a
But it
school
wasn't-
for girls getting interrupted,
It
do you?
wasn't Girls Interrupted. Girls Gone Interrupted.
Girls going and getting interrupted. I remember it was really crazy. They're in the bathtub and
Girls
Yeah,
gone.
Going
that
bowling
ice
and-
baths. Yeah, the bowling where they went bowling in those halls. That was filmed at McLean because when I was like doing a internship in the administrative offices of the hospital, because I was one of the good students.
You're one of the good interrupter.
Honestly, they wanted to send me back to regular school in senior year.
Oh.
Not to brag about my
Humble
mental
brag.
stability, but
Did you graduate from the hospital?
I
You get a
did.
certificate?
Yeah, I actually got a diploma from my hometown who paid for me to even go there.
I love that.
Well, I'd had like really troubled stuff in middle school, like in hospitalizations and stuff. So because of my mental health history, the town of Sharon, Massachusetts paid for me to go to this alternative
Yeah.
high school. And they were like, all right, I think you're fine now. You seem to be thriving. You're
And then
like,
you became a stand-up comedian.
I worked at Hollywood Video at the time too. So the short bus would drop me off at Hollywood Video every day after my shift at school for my shift at... And so I got through high school doing a lot of like media arts and stuff like that, and also getting popular by handing out a lot of stolen candy from Hollywood Video. So
Was there
Yeah.
any trepidation or embarrassment about like rolling up to work or rolling up to where maybe other people, kids your age, would see you exiting a short bus situation?
you say trepidation like I went to a regular school. Like I know what that word is. Yeah, probably at first, but I have friends that I'm still friends with one of my closer friends from those days.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. She doesn't like to talk about it too much, but me, I feel like, whoa, it was great material. No, and also I have no problem talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like we should talk more about mental health stuff. So I have no shame in it, and I think I just got used to it. So that was my normal. So it didn't ever really affect me. The idea of my coworkers knew I was being dropped off by a short bus, and that's all I cared about. You know, I didn't care what they thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had other problems. So I didn't really care. I was like, look at me. I'm one of the free ones.
She didn't really care about her whip at the time.
Yeah.
Did you ever sneak in the back of the Hollywood Video into the back room?
You know what? Hollywood Video is in a family store, and there is no back room.
There's no back room.
But there was one time a guy with, I believe, like a really thick Indian accent was like asking
Can you do
me.
that for us real quick?
Nope. He was asking me. Well, I can't say everything he said, but he kept going like adulta video, and I didn't understand what he meant.
Yeah.
And finally, after like a long time of this man trying to like articulate porn to me, I had to be like, oh, we don't have that here. But what we did have at Hollywood Video was a lot of R-rated porn.
Oh.
That was like Timegate, Tales of the Saddle Tramps, and like,
Tales of the Saddle. Is that a real one?
oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounded like a real one.
Oh, I watched that, and like trauma videos and
yeah.
pleasure craft and like things like that, where it's like, yeah, they're topless and like kind of slowly grinding on each other, but like not.
Well, sometimes what they used to do is they would film a porn two ways. They would film an X-rated and then film an R-rated version without the penetration scenes.
Yeah, I think they in the R-rated version they just show the parts where they're like not moving,
Yeah.
but still on each other. You know.
The one that sticks out from when I worked at a video store, the first porn titles I saw was Backside to the Future.
Oh wow! See, that sounds fun though.
Yeah.
That's like a theme. They weren't spoofs in this world. They were the trauma videos had a cult following, like
Toxic Avenger.
Flesh Gordon. That was like actually that one was pretty horny. That one was like an orgy. That one flew under the radar before they started taking ratings a little bit more seriously. But it was just awkward. There was one guy that used to ask for the keys to the bathroom, and then like we would find the cover boxes for those R-rated pornos in the bathroom. Like he brought them in there to JO to them. And
Wow,
like,
that's a lot. Just taking the cover, huh? Just
yeah. Also, he was more than 18 years. Like he could have gone and gotten porn anywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe part of the kick was like asking a high school girl to like handle
I
the
was
video.
not a. I wouldn't say I was like a Winona Ryder. I wasn't like a. I didn't look good back then. I was knocking on 300 pounds in high school. Not fat shaming, but I was like, I had body image issues, and I wasn't there to win any prizes.
You were, yeah, and you were busy working.
Yeah. I took it very seriously.
Real job.
I was wearing my tuxedo and like, yeah, I worked a lot there. Yeah.
Well, Reena, thank you so much for being on the program.
No, thank you.
Thank you for being a referee. You picked the clear winner. And that
It was not clear. It wasn't easy, and I've never been into sports. This has been the best Super Bowl of my life. I have to say, yeah.
Where can people find you and follow you on social media?
ReenaCalm.com is my website, and you can find the link to that in all of my social media bios. I think Instagram is my favorite of all the apps, so follow me at Reena Calm on Instagram, and in the link there you can find links to my album, my book of puns, and my TikTok and my wiki feet, and anything else that I've ever done is on there. So check it out there, and my tour dates especially. You can catch me in a city near you and sleeping in a nearby parking lot if there isn't a Harder Brunch basement.
That is Jay McKee.
You can find me at the Guys Get Interrupted 2. That's TOO, a double entendre.
You can find me at Zach_Roan on all social media.
At Dyke Michaels across the board. 1 week away to Meat Cakes. If you don't have your Meat Cake ticket by now and you've listened to this entire episode, I don't know where you're at, because obviously you're a diehard fan, but yet you don't already have your ticket. So get your life together. Figure it out. You have a week. Meat Cakes.
Cool that you did the vegan episode before you dive into a pile of meat.
Yeah.
That seems cool.
Well, it's a palate cleanser, you know?
Yeah.
We gotta do that. Thank you guys for listening. Patreon, /Harder Brunch. You know what to do. It's only $3. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.